You've probably heard it before. Cost of living is on the rise while paychecks remain stagnant. Actually, who am I kidding? It's literally plastered everywhere on every news headline, billboard, interview, political speech. It's everywhere. But it can't be that bad, can it? To explore this further, let's put ourselves in the shoes of Trey, a 28-year-old single man living in the great state of Minnesota. Now, Trey has a decent job. He works full-time as a sales representative based out of Minneapolis. It's not his dream job, but it pays well, about $65,000 a year, which is about the average for the area and not too shabby for someone just a couple years out of college. So let's see how Trey spends his money. A $65,000 salary translates to $6,416 per month. After subtracting federal and state income taxes, along with Social Security and Medicare, Trey's left with $4,200 a month to play around with. Obviously, Trey's gonna need a place to live, and considering Trey has only been working for a handful of years and doesn't have a ton saved up to buy a house, renting it is. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in and around Minneapolis is almost $1,400 a month, $1,389 a month to be precise. Trey's requirements for his apartment are that he wants to be close to work, he wants to be near friends who also work in the cities, and he wants it to be a nice, comfortable place to live. He settles on this place, the Odie Apartments, just a 15-minute drive from downtown Minneapolis and only $1,380 a month. What a steal. But not so fast. We can't forget about utilities. And Trey's just an average dude. He doesn't go overboard, so his utility bills are average for the area. That puts his electricity bill at $151 a month, his gas bill at $38 a month, and his water bill at $55 a month, bringing his total utility package to $245 a month. And then he also pays for his internet and phone bill. His internet being $60 a month for average internet and $50 a month for his average phone bill. And with all of that included, that's gonna bring Trey's total housing cost to $1,734. Actually, $1,754 after you throw in renter's insurance. As I mentioned earlier, Trey has a nice place in the city, but it's still a 15-minute drive from downtown Minneapolis where he works, so he's gonna need a car. And Trey thought he'd treat himself after landing his first job out of college, so he went out and got himself a nice car. However, Trey's a reasonable guy, so he wanted something reliable that wouldn't break the bank. So he went out and got this nice 2022 Honda Accord. He decided to put $0 down, seeing he didn't have much in his savings at the time, so his car payment is $492 a month, which he will be paying for the next 72 months at a 7.95% interest rate. Oof. But hey, at least you get a $10 discount when you enable autopay. And he can put that nice savings towards his gas bill, which averages out to about $120 a month because his commute is quite short. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot about car insurance. But the car isn't the only debt that Trey has. He studied business at the University of Minnesota, and his time there left him with a student loan balance of $39,075. Luckily, these were all federal student loans taken out at a 6.39% interest rate, which means that for the next 10 years, Trey's gonna be paying $441 a month towards these student loans. So now that Trey's debts are covered, he has a nice place to stay and has secured reliable transportation. What about food? I mean, a man's gotta eat, right? And groceries aren't cheap. The USDA estimates that the average single adult spends somewhere between $260 and $280 a month on groceries. But that's for groceries alone, and Trey likes to supplement his meal prepping with the occasional dining experience, where the average American spends about $220 a month on eating out. But what can I say? McDonald's has some great food. Next up is healthcare. Not cheap, but you're gonna need it sooner or later. Trey's pretty lucky because he has access to employer-sponsored coverage, which brings his healthcare premiums from $400 a month to just $150. And Trey's even luckier because we're gonna assume that he never gets sick, has no medication, and never visits the doctor, ever. So no extra costs in this category. Subscriptions. Death by 1,000 cuts. The average American spends about $100 a month on subscriptions, and our friend Trey is no exception. He needs Spotify for listening to music, Netflix for those cozy nights in, HBO Max for the latest releases, Amazon Prime for deliveries in a pinch, and of course, YouTube Premium to like this video and subscribe to Kian LaFerrier, wink wink. Now that Trey has all of his recurring costs out of the way, it looks like he has $485 a month left over to save and invest. Oh, but I forgot, our buddy Trey is an avid golfer, so that's gonna be $120 a month for a couple of rounds. Oh, and he likes to bring his girlfriend to the movies every once in a while. And you can't forget about his guilty pleasure, Taylor Swift tickets, and maybe the occasional video game to play with his friends. It actually turns out that the average American spends over $300 a month on entertainment expenses. Okay, the month is finally over, and Trey has $145 left over to save, invest, and build towards his future. Oh wait, we didn't include household essentials like toilet paper and toothpaste. Or what if his car needs an oil change or he gets a flat tire? What about his friend's birthday? Is he gonna get him a gift? Can he afford a gift? And travel's non-existent in this scenario, so before you know it, Trey's already gone through that entire $4,200 and is supplementing the excess with credit cards. It's a trap that a lot of people fall into. And just remember, Trey's your average person, middle of the road. Imagine if you made 60K instead of 65, or what about 50? So that's the unfortunate position that a lot of people find themselves in when there's too much month left at the end of the money. But let's not end on a somber note. Instead, let's see if we can change a couple of things about Trey's budget to give him a little more room to work with, without just saying,
Trey, absolutely no fun, rice and beans and rice, absolutely no going out, nothing.
On screen we have a representation of Trey's budget and what he spends per month. This is his current budget right here in this column, and then what we're gonna change it into. First things first, we gotta pay the non-negotiables. That's the debt that we've already taken out and we're obligated to pay it. So that's gonna be the student loans at $441 and the car payment at $492. I'm gonna let him keep the car, seeing that he already has it. It's not some luxury sports car, and the car payment isn't egregious in respect to his income. Then his healthcare has to be paid. Now, there might be some cheaper, high deductible plans that are offered through his work, and it might be worth looking into, but for now, let's just assume that this is the only plan that he has. I also think his grocery bill is very reasonable. $270 is a fair price to be paying for groceries, and even if he wanted to spend a little more in this category, that'd be totally fine. Now, where I think he can cut, and where I definitely think he should be cutting, is his rent. I'm a big fan of Ramit Sethi's approach to this. He says that we should spend a lot of time and energy thinking and planning about our big financial decisions, and then not that much time and energy thinking about the small stuff that really doesn't matter that much. Now, I think Trey can save a lot of money here. For me personally, I live in the first ring of suburbs right around the Twin Cities. It's a 20-minute drive from Minneapolis, downtown Minneapolis, and I only pay $995 a month with almost all utilities included except for electricity. That makes my living cost $1,276 compared to Trey's $1,754, which is almost a $500 savings. Now, my apartment is not nearly as nice as the one Trey has, but I found this place, which is just a 17-minute drive from downtown Minneapolis, and it's only for $1,050 a month compared to his $1,380 he's currently paying. So that would bring his rent down to just $1,050 a month. His internet would still be the same at $60, his phone would still be the same at $50, and his renter's insurance would also still be the same at $20 a month. Unfortunately, this place doesn't include any utilities with the rent, and so he's still going to be paying that $245 a month. But if you can even find a place that includes utilities, you can save even more in this category. Then for his car insurance, if he did some shopping around, he might be able to save like 20 or 30 bucks a month in this category. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to keep it the same at $180 a month. For gas, since he's going to be moving a little bit further away, I'll bump this gas bill up to 125 bucks a month compared to the 110 we had it before. Next up is his dining expense, which also isn't that bad. $220 a month is pretty high, but it's totally reasonable. I would say he should just hard cap this at $200 a month. Enjoy a couple of nice meals out per month, but nothing over 200 bucks. We might also be able to save some money in the subscription category. Maybe he only needs Netflix or HBO Max instead of having both of them. He's definitely got to keep his YouTube Premium subscription in order to like this video, but maybe we can save some money. I'll keep it at 97 bucks a month like it was before. And then we get to the last category in his budget, and this is the point that I really want to hammer home. We can see that he spends $340 a month on entertainment expenses. And in our last budget, this was our breaking point. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's the reason that we went over budget for the month. And that's what a lot of people say. If you want to save money, you have to cut out your entertainment category. And I just don't believe in that at all. So I'm going to give our buddy Trey here 400 bucks a month to go and spend on what he enjoys doing. And he can afford this luxury now because he thought hard and made good practical decisions on other big categories in his budget, like rent, that allows him to save and do stuff that he enjoys per month without stressing about being constantly over budget. And I want to show you guys this. So our buddy Trey here has $420 a month left over at the end of the month. If we exclude his miscellaneous household expenses and whatnot, maybe we'll say he's got $100 a month to spend in that category. So Trey's gonna have $320 a month to save, invest, pay off debt, whatever he wants to do. But for the sake of argument, let's say that he just throws that $320 into an S&P 500 index fund every month until he turns 65. So if Trey at 28 years old had never before contributed to an investment account and all he does is that 320 bucks a month every month until he turns 65, he's going to end up with $813,000 by the time he retires. And that's assuming that he never pays off his debts, he never gets a raise at work, and he only contributes 320 bucks a month into his investment account. And he still ends up with over $800,000. And that's the power of making just a couple of wise decisions, creating a little bit of breathing room in your budget, and saving and investing for the future. And that's the point I want to get across to you guys in this video. And I can go cut out a couple of more small things from Trey's budget, and I guarantee he'll have well over $1 million by the time he retires. And that's just crazy. So I urge you guys watching this video right now, don't be like Trey. Don't be the average person. Instead, make wise, conscious decisions on where you spend your money, and I guarantee that you'll find success. But that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, perhaps leave it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. But I'm done, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.